The story of Saul's conversion is a famous story from the Bible. It is well known because it is so powerful and dramatic. The story goes that as Saul was on the road to Damascus, the scripture tells us that he was breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord. He had taken it upon himself to be a one-man vigilante team to go and arrest every Christian that he could find. And yet, on his journey, as he's on his way, suddenly he is surrounded by a flash of light, and a voice begins to speak, and Saul falls down to the ground, and the voice says, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" And Saul replies, "Who are you, Lord?" And the voice says, "I am Jesus, who you are persecuting. But now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what to do." As I said, it's a dramatic story, and it is the story of how Saul became Paul, how he went from being an opponent of the gospel to one of its greatest advocates, later writing much of the letters in the New Testament and being a formative influence on the early church. But the problem is that for many of us who are seeking God in our lives, that story can be intimidating. We often don't have a bright flash of light or a voice from heaven knocking us down to the ground. Oftentimes it comes in more subtle ways. And the point of the story, then, is not for us to repeat Saul's experience. The point is not for us to have the same exact conversion experience that Saul did, but to meet the Lord that Saul met. To meet Jesus, who is behind the experience. Now, sometimes Jesus comes to us and says, "I am Jesus, the one whom you have been persecuting," either in how you treat yourself or how you treat others or in the way that you live your life. Other times, Jesus appears and simply says, "I am with you." But regardless, Jesus comes to us whether to confront us or comfort us, to speak words of love and mercy, reminding us that we are deeply and radically loved by Jesus, and that every person that we meet is deeply and radically loved by Jesus, and we are called to share that good news with others. That's what it means to meet the Jesus behind Saul's conversion experience. That's what it means to reply, "Who are you, Lord?" My name is Brian Diebold from the Verona Presbyterian Church, and this has been this week's Moment of Grace.